beat makers, recording engineers. I am Big Man. That's what I go by when I'm making my beats. I'm here today to talk about groove boxes and the process of tracking out your groove box into Pro Tools. This isn't going to be a tutorial or anything. I'm just curious to other people out there who are into groove boxes and don't like to stare at a computer screen and they're using more of their eyes to align things to a grid and not really their ears. I'm more into just hearing something and creating like that and finding those happy accidents that you get into when you're working with the groove box. Those things happen too when you're working on a DAW. But me as a producer, I am using FL Studio to make beats. I'm using the machine to make beats. My two groove boxes that I have the Korg Electribe SX. I have the Korg Electribe MX. And I love those two pieces of gear, boy. I've been using those things a lot. And now, what I like about these groove boxes is that, this is the SX, my SX here. I love that you got these tubes right here. I'm really into tube gear. I'm a musician as well. I play drums, guitar, bass. I love that old tube vintage guitar amps and bass heads, and I love the sound that you get when you're putting it through the tubes. You just get, a nice warmer and a nice saturation and stuff. And that's what I love about this thing is, you can drive the tubes, the sound that's going through the tubes. You can get a little bit more grit out of it. What I love also is it has 4 outputs. These 4 right here, you have one, a left, right, and then an alternate 3 and 4. So what else, I love is you have 8 drum parts, and you have, this one has 2 synth parts, and then you got some sample parts here. My MX has 5 synth parts, so it's really cool because on one synth part you can do a bass line, one synth part you can have some strings, another synth part you can have like an ambient track underneath, and then you could have a brass section and a guitar or something like that. And then you also got this the step sequence part. If you like to use it like that, that's cool too, because then you can kind of just hear and place hits where you want, and then you can listen to how they sound in your beat. Now what I do now, as far as the new Electribes are concerned, what I don't like is that they have only a stereo output, and that on here you can do 8-bar beats. On the newer ones, I guess it's only 4 bars, and from what I'm understanding, you got to do a bunch of patterns and chain them together. But I love to be able to, first 4 bars, do the beat here, and on the second 4 bars, the beat changes up a little bit, and at the end you throw your little accent in there or whatnot. So I'm really interested to try out one of these the newer Electribes. And for the price for these groove boxes, you got a lot of cool sounds in there. They're high quality sounds. When I'm tracking out into Pro Tools, I run my Korg as a slave, and then my 4 outputs, I can send the kick, snare, hat, and clap, 4 channels, and then I do the next 4, and then the other, like my synth parts, if you got really cool delay or something, you have to use the stereo out left and right, because the alternate out 3 and 4, it just sends the signal clean through those outputs. But I'm really curious to see. I'd love to work on one of these newer Electribes, hear the sounds, or if they're kind of the same sounds as these older Electribes. If that's the case, I don't think I really want to get one. But any of you beat makers out there who are working on those newer ones, I'd love to hear what you're doing, how you track it out into Pro Tools. what you think about the sounds and stuff inside of them. You know, the other things, you know, are like with FL Studio and stuff. It's super easy to track out a beat. You just save your WAV files into a folder, open up Pro Tools, bam, ready to lay vocals, ready to start mixing, adding plugins, and getting ready for the mastering process. It's the same with the machine. You know, I have a laptop that has I think Pro Tools 9, but you can run it as a plug-in, and then you track your beat right out. And then it's ready to go. Like I said, to do vocals, to work on your breakdowns, add effects, and start working the process like that. I'm really interested in other groove boxes like this OP1. I've been seeing some guys make some really dope beats on that thing. I'm really curious as to how they track these beats out, and if they want to get them into Pro Tools, what's the process if you have to link it to a computer and then save all the files for your sounds. I kind of like that it runs like an old tape machine, you know, like a 4-track or something like that. That's pretty cool. So any of you people out there making beats, I would love to hear from you. What equipment you're using. I'm into groove boxes that have sounds already. You know, I'm not trying to build a sound library and buy all these sound packs. And I like pieces of gear that have a lot of nice sounds to work with, so that, you know, when I kind of get burned out on that one, I switch to another piece of gear and I start using those sounds, and then, you know, so on and so forth. I'm really curious about the MPC Live. I've seen a lot of tutorials. I've heard a lot of people complain that the screen it makes you feel like you're working with a DAW and not really a groove box. You know, the Octatrack looks awesome, but that looks like you have to put a lot of time and effort into that thing to start making some beats. But, you know, what I've seen people doing on YouTube with those things is pretty mind-blowing. So that's another piece I'm interested in. And yeah, so, you know, I checked out a lot of pages out there. I'd like to give a shout out to Jade Wee from Dallas Jammin'. She has a lot of really cool information out there, product reviews, and she's really smart and breaks things down in a way that I like, that I can understand. It's not too technical or nothing like that. And she gave me inspiration to do this video, so once again, shout out. And yeah, any other engineers out there who are into groove boxes, you know, show me what you're working with. Let me know your recording process. I'm really curious to see what other people are out there, and I'd like to, you know, have a little community where we're all working together and sharing tips and ideas and to make our music better, you know, because that's what it's really about, you know. You know, we all want to make really good music and for people to enjoy. So I'll put a link to my hip hop group, Tricknology. The beat on that video was done with my Korg, with this little bad boy right here, my MX. And I really like that beat. I think it's banging. My intro beat for the video is done on my SX. So you can hear a little bit about what I've done, and I'd love to hear from you. Please comment, like, subscribe, get in touch by any means. Thank you guys for your attention, and I hope to hear from you soon. This is Big Man, and I'm out. Peace.